met Simon on a Saturday night at KitKat, while the party was going hard.
Co-founder of the infamous club and porn director, he created over the past 30 years a world of his own.
We're diving deep into his story, his inspirations, and the real story behind KitKat.
I, of course, have a strong intention to overcome boundaries, but of course I have moral boundaries. So freedom is only possible if on the left hand is responsibility. Also my name, Simon Thaur, is a complete artificial name. Simon is my female side, Thaur is my male side. Thaur it's very short, cut it very straight, but Simon is listening. There are always two reactions onto my personality because of my face or whatever. A lot of people are very shy or just respect, and they don't catch me at all. So I could be that a person would not even allow herself to meet me for 5 years, and then after one time they spoke to me, so then they cling on to you. And this is also the success element. So people came here, they did not know what happens, and they felt home. I come from a little town in Tyrol, in the middle of the mountains, one of the most beautiful places on earth, but one could not realize oneself. So in the 70s it was, from my side, just very stuffy there. Yeah? So it was completely stuffy, everybody had his normal life, everybody had his girlfriend, and I was a complete outsider. I was already in some kind of abstract orientations, just okay, the world is behind the 7 mountains of Tyrol somewhere, and this influenced me quite strongly until therefore I went away. Lots of young people were in Berlin, so I felt definitely Berlin was my place. Yeah? So it was my kind of energy, which could reflect my own personality. Then in between I have been wherever, so in the world. So 1993 I decided I have to come back to Berlin because I was 1.5 years in Munich before. I met Kirsten, the woman I made the club together with. But Munich was did not have this kind of atmosphere where I could get my coming out, by example. So we decided to go to Berlin, and 9 months later the KitKat club was already existing. So it was the best decision I could have.
In 1994, Simon and his partner Kirsten created the KitKat club in Berlin. What took them on this journey?
It was just part of my own sexual development, let's just say. I was always a bit crazy in this direction. I was always influenced by porn, by example. I had different relationships. And so I did different things before. I also had this community before. For 2.5 years at the travel commune, more or less like a free sex orgy commune with 10 people, let's just say, and all these things. It went on in the beginning of the 90s. Somehow I felt interested in the public space. I wanted to know how far can I go in the public space until somebody comes along and tells me to stop. So I remember with Kirsten, she was only wearing pantyhose, which is completely see-through. We went to eat, we went out to different clubs, and we got known to this owner of this club, and with my loud mouth, I was just saying I could imagine also to do a fetish party. They told us, we can do that, and it's only the free is only the Tuesday. And so in my naivety, I thought, okay, we make Tuesday now a cult day or whatever. So I started to do this party then. We made some flyers and all the usual thing. We went to Kreuzberg and put posters everywhere. It was not really clear what it will be. Yeah? So there was no goal, like which kind of people do we want to reach, because these people still did not exist. So they exist now, but at the time they did not exist. So I tried just to, because I'm a communicative person, I tried to reach the best people, just everybody which is fine with me might be also fine with the party. So simple it was. The very first Tuesday was quite good for the best Tuesday for this club at the time. So But then, because it was very unregular, it went down. And after the 7th party, there were only 25 people anymore. I always thought, okay, and if I'm 33, I want to be settled. I wanted to be successful with something. Yeah? So at the time, I wanted to publish my astrology book, so I thought that the success will be the astrology book. Then this KitKat chance came in between. The 7th party was in the last week before I got 34. So I said, okay, I give now everything. So if I would have met you on the street, I would have just invited you. I make a party, just come along, it doesn't cost anything, blah, blah, blah. So the party was then full. It was enough quantity, let's say. It was also a good party. The quality was exactly like I wanted to go. And then I was thinking, okay, if I go on with the next party, okay, some people will come again. I did not earn very much in this evening because I invited everybody. Yeah, I earned 200 marks, 100 for the DJ, 100 for me, which is basically nothing. So I decided not to look at the little money, and I invited everybody for the rest of the year. So this made sure that there will be the certain quantity and the certain quality of the party. And then the people with money might come, and it will develop in a bigger thing. And like this it was then also. So half year later we were able to buy the whole club. So because they lost their concession and didn't work anymore. We were the only party which was still successful. And so, okay, then half year later we had the whole club. So we had to sing. There were different names in the beginning. The very beginning I wanted to call it Sex Front, and I thought, okay, what, provocative, nobody will come, everybody will just be afraid. Then I was thinking, okay, what can I do? And then KitKat is not really, it's not catchable. What is it? So yeah, it sounds like yin and yang, like man and woman. It's more playing stuff. It's not really graspable. And so it was KitKat Club, Sex, Transpital, in the evening basically. And then 3 months later I found out that there's this movie Variety, which in the 70s with Liza Minnelli, and this played in a KitKat Club here in Berlin. But I didn't know this before. I knew the movie, but I didn't remember that. So, and then after the movie, I liked also the content of the movie, so that it did this kind of free relationships and whatever psychological problematics there were. So I thought, yeah, it's a good comparison. So I started to tell people, so it's from the movie. Yeah. But it's not from the movie, it's from myself. So, yeah.
KitKat is not only a club, but a real experience. Almost like entering another dimension, straight out of Simon's mind.
I want light. I want that people can look each other's eyes. I'm very influenced from the hippie times, so in the 70s. So hippie times means, yeah, everything was in the groups, they had their commune and the girls, and so it influenced me just in a way, so this kind of freedomness. So definitely it's a place where normal relationships or frameworks is a new condition, basically. A condition where you can do actually everything you want, but everybody understood it's a special place and more or less a spiritual place as well, because there is this kind of freedom or whatever. And the interesting thing was also that there was no need for so-called moral police to run around, are you okay, or are you this, because people
knew how to
they had responsibility for themselves. There is no kind of behavior patterns which the police comes along and say, hey, you can't do that. So, but at the same time, of course, whatever you do must be in communication with the other people. So the formula at the time was do what you want, but stay in communication. So that actually, there's no need to explain more.
Another dimension that Simon has been exploring for a while is porn. We join him on the set of one of his productions, taking place in the basement of KitKat. What motivates and inspires him?
I myself was interested in everything. Yeah? So, of course, I wanted to overcome borders, to break the taboo, to find out how far can one go. But at the same time, I always liked stories. I'm a comic. I have a super big comic collection, so I was always influenced by comics, by these kind of things. And so I like stories, I like dialogues, I like theater. So also theater influenced me very strongly. So I thought it can be like an erotic theater almost. So it's not the act in itself which is that interesting. Doesn't matter how perverse the thing is or how normal. So it's more how you present this act. So me watching Born and getting inspired of other movies, I found out for myself, okay, what do I like, why do I like it? If somebody with the camera was only at the sexual part without seeing the face, I did not like that. I wanted to see the reaction of the woman. I make an effect and I want to see the reaction. So this is the reason why I do this, so from the psychological side. So I got more and more, like in theater, it's much, I like the grotesque world and the absurd world actually, so I can take it like this. So I'm not so much into the normal things because it's boring somehow. And then because of, also, I remember my first Born movies, I did them with two girlfriends, which I knew from the club, so we were known to each other already. In the beginning I was thinking, always the same girls, how will it be? And then I thought, okay, maybe I can do that like in a relationship. If you go for the first time with somebody to bed, can be good, but mostly it's not the best thing. It might develop after a while, after you know yourself more and more. And so I thought also, okay, if this girl develops with every movie, they do something more, there's one thing again, more, and so they get much more interesting because I'm able to make a portrait of the psychological side as well. So my old movies as well, even though they were very hard, they had a complete psychological portrait. So like no other Born movies had this thing. And the more intelligent people, they got this point. It's a kind of multidimensionality, similar to KitKat Club. So it's not just sex, it's not just music, it's not just. There are many dimensions, and the mix of it make it that interesting.
Meeting Simon was so inspiring and made us understand why KitKat is such a special place.
As the interview comes to an end, we want to know what's next for Simon and the club.
The future of KitKat. I cannot really tell because I live here now. Whatever happens next year, and we bought the village a few years ago. We wanted to make a KitKat village. It was one of my older age projects. So doing my research there, having a river of new people all the time. It's got stuck at the moment, so I cannot really tell you if it still will develop or not. Whatever, so I will adapt. This also comes from my traveling time. Since I was 14 years traveling, what I learned in traveling was just to adapt at the situation. To believe in destiny, we will survive somehow, whatever. And many things might then happen if you don't expect them. If you go too much into the expectation element, so it's mostly it doesn't come true, and you're disappointed. And if you are more open, then lots of new chances, things which lay on the street and you won't have seen them before, and then because it's working in the background, you see them, and you grasp this element, and already the world can change.
Describe your life with one word, only one word.
Doing what I want and doing it sensually, so I would say.
Cool. That's it?
Perfect.
Wow. Well done.
Okay.